Ford is doing some clever things to get new technology into its products faster, and that is coming up next.
When it comes to meeting global mandates for fuel economy, Dow Automotive Systems is leading the way. We're the only supplier offering lightweighting capability supported by epoxy resin systems, structural, aluminum and composite bonding adhesives, acoustical foam technologies, and carbon fiber systems that, when combined, work together as a complete solution. And our award-winning lightweight bonding solutions can be found in many vehicles on the road today. Affordable solutions from Dow Automotive Systems.
Hao Tai-Tang is the Group Vice President for Global Purchasing at the Ford Motor Company. And Hao, I've got to ask you, at this conference, there's been a lot of talk about supplier and OEM collaboration, getting new technology in early and that sort of thing. I know Ford's got a couple of specific efforts in this regard. Tell us about that.
Yeah, today we're really trying to highlight some of the contributions of our supplier partners, especially in the context of two new products that we're launching this year, the 2015 Mustang and the F-150. On the Mustang, we're talking about this quarter glass, louvered quarter glass. That's a big styling, historical feature of the Mustang. It's part of our 50th anniversary package. What's really neat is instead of doing a stick-on louver out of a metal or a plastic, we're actually integrating it into the glass itself.
Molding the glass that way?
Molding the glass, three separate panels together as one integral unit. A technology that was developed by Magna, one of our biggest suppliers, and we're really happy to have it. It's great styling cue, but also delivers a lot of great visibility for the customers.
Was that an effort or a result of an effort of getting them in earlier than you might have in the past?
Absolutely, and what our suppliers tell us, John, is they really appreciate the consistency of purpose of Ford with the One Ford focus, but also the clarity of our brand position. They know quality, safe, green, smart. So in this case, Mustang is all about design, having these historical signature cues, and that enable them to work very early with Maury Callum and his team to develop this technology.
I understand too that you're pairing purchasing people with product development or engineering people. Fill in the details on that.
Another, I think, strength for Ford is we have a very strong match pair process, we call it, and it starts at the very highest level between Raj Nair, my counterpart, the Group Vice President of Global Purchasing, and myself, but then all the way down through our purchasing directors and engineering directors down to the buyer and engineer. And what we do is we get together and we develop commodity strategic business plans that call out the technology and the design approach as well as the commercial strategy. And in that way we can provide an aligned point of view back to our supplier partners. It's been a huge enabler for us to work together better.
Is that a way of where maybe somebody that comes out of the engineering side, product development side, can recognize a part, a component, or some sort of supplier service that really might enhance the product more than maybe a purchasing person might realize?
That's one of the benefits is our buyers, for the most part, are not engineers. Many of them don't have engineering degrees, so oftentimes when they see a promising new technology and a new innovation, it's so unrefined, it hasn't been commercialized yet. It's really hard for them to pair that up with a consumer trend and get to the unmet needs of the consumers. And having the engineers there being part of that process really helped to facilitate that.
You mentioned the louvers. Do you have any other examples you can give us?
On the F-150, you know, we talked about the 700 pounds that we're taking out. So much attention on the all-aluminum body, but the frame is a huge enabler. So we worked with Motulsa. We developed a roll tailor welded rail. So where we need the strength for high stresses, the gauge is thicker. Where we don't need it, we can thin it out. Using high-strength steel, that's enabled us to have a really stiff frame that delivers then the benefit to the customers in terms of the increased payload and towing once we take that weight out. So another great lightweighting solution that's not aluminum.
Ford has obviously been working to pare down the number of suppliers it has. I've got to believe it's easier to manage a supply base when there's not so many of them. Where do you stand in that regard?
The absolute number really hasn't changed very much. We have about 1,200 parent suppliers, but the mix has changed. What we're seeing is as we go into new markets, places like India, ASEAN, Russia, we have to work with new suppliers, because localization is a big critical business driver in those regions. And in other regions, more mature regions, we are trying to figure out how to focus on fewer suppliers. So it's really a balance. The total number hasn't changed very much, but the mix has changed. The other big change in the industry is new technology. So infotainment is a great example. Once you get into that space, you tend to deal with a different set of suppliers that beyond your traditional suppliers. So the absolute number hasn't changed, but we're seeing a change in the mix.
Real good. Thanks so much, Howard.
Okay, thanks, John.
Yeah.
Yep.
This concludes our series of interviews at the Management Briefing Seminars, but you can check all the ones out that we've done on our website at Autoline.tv. There's more car news and industry insight from the Autoline Network every day. Take a moment to click that subscribe button. You'll never miss another Autoline episode.